It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and it is Walkabout Wednesday in my Vista, California garden. And it has been a minute since we did a walkabout. Oh, good morning. Somebody got up from his nap to join us out here on the walkabout, huh, buddy? Before we get started, because there's a lot to see, I wanted to share an announcement with you. We are going to be doing another live class via YouTube this time, but it's going to be all things maintenance. A couple of months ago, we did a Tapestry 101. It was so well received. I enjoyed it immensely, as did all of you. Well, you've planted your succulent tapestry garden. Now you need to learn how to take care of it. And yes, in the succulent tips of the day, and on projects, I do my best to show you things, but this is going to be an intensive couple of hours where I'm going to tear into our son's garden up in Claremont, and we are going to roll up our sleeves and really dive in deep. And you're going to learn how to cut and reset plants, when to cut and reset plants, how to shape them, how to treat for pests and diseases, how to propagate, how to kind of configure and redesign a garden space from start to finish. So you'll want to run over to lauraeubanks.com and register, because today we have an early bird special. So get in there and get it before the price goes up tomorrow. All right? Okay. So, oh my gosh. Wow. Here in San Diego, Vista proper, it has been May gray all month. It's the end of May. We're at the very end, and we haven't seen sun this early in the day. It's like, what, 10 o'clock in the morning right now? Since last year. So despite the fact that we've had a lot of May gray, everything is thriving. I mean, the xeriscape area, look at all of the new growth on this incredible cactus. This was a cutting that Cullen gave me when we moved in here to this property almost 2 years ago. And here you can see the new growth, this green part, the tops. This was just a cutting. This is xeriscaped, so I don't have any irrigation or water in here. These plants just thrive pretty much on their own. I may sprinkle in the dead of summer just because it's fun, but for the most part, they rely on what they have in store to feed themselves. This incredible little rainbow burst variegated. Thank you, Bentley. Yeah, no, come here, buddy. I know, it's so neat, right? Oh my gosh. So here's a flower that's getting ready to open right here. And these are all buds. So I'm just really curious to see if we are going to get a literal crown of flowers off of this magnificent plant. The little Pilosoceras azuris, this is one of my favorite columnars. The flower, look at this, it's pointing in against the window so we can see it from the kitchen. It's not much of a very exciting flower. It's just a little white flower. But that's okay, because we grow this plant primarily for the blue flesh. So pretty. My Petalanthus bracteatus. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I put this in a pot a little over a year ago as cuttings, and they have rooted in here. And I have watered this, but it is in absolutely no hurry to leaf back out. It's still kind of just sticky and woody. So maybe I'll throw some fertilizer on it. What do you think? Oh, that's another thing in the workshop too. I'll talk about fertilizing. I'm not a big fertilizer, but I have definitely learned in recent years the merits, particularly those of you that are gardening in more hostile climates. Those succulents can really thrive from a little help from time to time. The beautiful little collectible table here, everything is doing great, always with the little weeds, right guys? There's a lot of spider webs right now, aren't there, in our gardens? And I would say to you, in regards to that, tolerate it up to a point, because spiders are garden friends. They eat all of the nasty little boogers that affect our plants, all the aphids, the mealybugs, the scale. Spiders can eat those things. So leave your spider webs alone. particularly if you see active spiders. This little guy here, I got this from Al at Botanic Wonders. It's a little geranium that is super dormant right now, so we'll see if it will leaf back out. Okay, I gave away one of my praying hands in the Succulent Tapestry Workshop, but this is the other one that I kept. I planted it in the ground, and it's just kind of sitting here. It's not really doing much yet, but it is alive, so I'll call that a win. I did some spring cleaning. I took out a lot of my, you know, like rosettes, my sedums and graptosedums and graptopetalums and sedivarias and such, that were just too big. They were just too much. Now this one, this is a little graptovaria, and you couldn't even see this barrel cactus. I mean, it covered everything. It covered up this cactus, but it has some really, really pretty growth right here. So I left this. I left this alone, and I still need to do some finish work on it. It still looks a little messy over here, you know, like right here. Look at all these leaves that got in detritus that I didn't get picked up. I digress. I just can't stand it though, guys. That's why I like having a smaller garden, because I can keep it looking pretty perfect without too much effort. Over here, our key lime, you know, went off this year. We had hundreds and hundreds of limes, and now it's set in blossom. And the smell, it's magnificent. The little pink witch aeoniums are getting ready to go into summer dormancy, but I do have some growth here. See that? New baby. This was a aeonium that was gifted to me by a client, and I really, really treasure it. The color is absolutely magnificent. And the Aeonium Sunburst Crest looks fantastic. Wow, wow, wow. Look at all of this cresting. It's really bigger. I had to take a piece off because it died back, but it has gifted me with even more growth. I'm sorry, guys. I can't help myself. I have to do this. My hands aren't big enough to hold all this stuff. The Mangave. Oh dear. This is my mission. Is it? Here we go again, guys. Is it Mission to Mars or Aztec King? God dang it. Aztec King, right? I think. Mission is deeper. Yeah, Aztec. Mission is deeper purple. But holy crap. This is so huge and so gorgeous, and it's covering up my phallus, but I don't care. I'm so here for this. And look at how it's eating all of the little understory plants beneath it. There's some really beautiful pups on this, but I'm just going to continue to let it ride. I really enjoy it. I think it's beautiful, and we're just gonna let that go. This little Ramosissima here had some alomite, remember? And I had treated it with some bio-advanced systemic, and we got it. There's no more evidence of disease on this plant. I don't see any active galling anywhere. It looks great. So if you catch alomite early enough, and we'll talk about this more in the workshop, the live workshop. Did I give the date? It's June 9th at 2 p.m. I don't think I said that earlier. That would be helpful information, huh? All the information is on the website, though, at lauraeubanks.com. But it is June 9th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll talk about that, too. Some of the more common ailments that can infest or attack our succulents and cacti. Oh, my goodness. And my Crassula argentea sunset. This is not a rare plant by any stretch of the imagination. It's really kind of common. But I love it so much. This came with me from Chula Vista. I keep it somewhat, well, bonsai is a very loose definition. This is not a bonsai by any stretch, but ish, bonsai-ish, right? Where I kind of keep it open a little bit. I really love this. I love this yellow color, and it stays colorful for me most of the year. How are your guys' Echeveria harmsii doing right now? Mine are lit. Look at that color. It's insane. They're so beautiful. This is a really quite the favorite plant of mine. It really does tolerate a lot of climatic differentials. It'll take the cold, it'll take the heat. Can plant it in full sun, part shade. Just a real winner for sure. All right. I had the grandkids here, or we had the grandkids here over the memorial, and Greg's about to back into a bunch of kid stuff, buckets and treasures. I have buried a lot of fiberglass and little plastic gems and whatnot in the sand, and then they take the trowels and they unearth them. And it gives them hours of entertainment. It's really cute. My Fred Ives, looking fantastic. The Ramosissima, my Aloe Ramosissima, also spectacular. This is interesting. I have the two, the one I just showed you that had the alumite in the pot and this one, and they were both approximately the same size when I installed them. Watch out, you're about to back into a cactus. And this one in the ground has really, really taken off. So I recommend, if you have an Aloe Ramosissima, if it's at all possible, to get that puppy in the ground. Let's check the nursery, shall we? How's our mama agave attenuata variegata babies doing? Looky there, guys. Look at our babies. There's 5. We have quince. I'm just going to let that ride until those get much bigger before I take them off and start them on their own. Good girl. I'm so proud of this plant for throwing off more flowers. You can see I'm starting to infringe a bit on the children's play area with my cactus collectibles. Excuse me, sir. Excuse. This one, this is so funny. I know this is quirky and kind of a hot mess, but I bought it that way. And because I didn't mind, I just loved the shape of it. And it was, I had it setting on a table, and the wind knocked over the umbrella, which knocked over the pot, which broke the plant. And this was a piece that broke that I just stuck in the ground, and it rerooted and is thriving. And look at the new growth on this. Isn't that the cutest thing? So if you have, you know, a plant, a cactus with a lot of corking like this, and you don't like that, you can cut it off, right? Dispose of the corked part and just reset the clean part in the soil if you want to give that a try. All right, and the Pachypodium lemmerii crest that crested. Oh, it's just giving me life. That is just such a magnificent thing. It's really, really pot bound in there now, but I'm not taking it out. It's perfection. It is just, it's just so fascinating to watch it grow and figure itself out. And I'm sure that's rooted through the bottom of the pot into the soil beneath, but I don't even care. Oh, and my sea dragon, this was really leggy, so I just beheaded this and reset it. I think my son has got some etchies in his garden that I can behead for you in the maintenance that we do on the 9th too. I think this is still spring. It's not summer yet. It's a really good time to do that. Oh my goodness. And this millii, Euphorbia millii, this wasn't doing much at all. The reason I have this, you might be asking yourself, why do you have a Euphorbia millii? They're not that interesting. It's pretty, right? And I really like the color. And it had a whale's tail. It crested, but the crest died. And I removed the crest, the dead part, and we had all this winter rains this year, and this is what happened. Also, take a look at this cotyledon. This is lechuga, and you see how huge this is? This is what I call a filler plant. It's not, you know, it's not really unique or special. It's starting to eat my tomentosa. John has a lot of this in his garden up in Claremont. And this is a really good one to cut and reset. And we'll be showing you how to do that too. Because sometimes a plant, even though it's healthy, you know, it just gets too big, or it gets leggy, or it starts to eat some of your other plants, and you just have to make edits. So we'll talk about that, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, moving on. I took something out of here, but I don't remember what, because my agave bracteosa was getting eaten alive. This is an aloe Wickensii, and it's about doubled in size since I put it in there. I've got Mangave Lavender Lady right here that's also, not in the best spot. She really should be pushed back further. So I might make some edits in here too at some point. Now this area has knit together in spectacular fashion between the, let Bentley get through. Look at this over here, Greg. This Aeonium Haworthia right next door to the Aeonium Kiwi. Some people say, what's the difference between a Haworthia and a Kiwi? Well, here you go. Look at that. And eventually this is going to get really leggy and it's not going to be cute anymore. And I'll have to cut it out and probably do a reset or just get rid of it. But for now, it is stunning. Then we've got this cool aloe right here. And then all of my little rosettes that have just knit together so beautifully. Many of those ghosties crested, and I cut them off and gave them as gifts. Here's another gorgeous crest. Look at that. So these all went back in pretty much as cuttings a couple of months ago, and they've taken over, starting to crowd my snow glow, or my sun glow, and this Perrii too is starting to get eaten. So yeah, it's always something, isn't it? And I know that a lot of you are a bit insecure about how to tear in and how to cut and how to edit and how to reshape, and I'm so excited to be able to teach you how to do that. Okay, so we have the succulent chair over here. Probably in another couple of months, this is going to need reworked. It's fine right now, but it's going to get really dried out, and I'm going to have to do some cutting and resetting. This is just all sitting in a bed of really, really old sphagnum moss. There's no soil to speak of in here, but it sure has been fun. And then my favorite little cutout, this undulata. I have a piece of flagstone staged in here, and you can almost not see it now. Isn't that so funny? But yeah, I still love this. I love this area so much. All right, moving on. My Kumara aloe. See this black on the tips? This is so typical of this plant. It's just what it does. And it's sort of annoying. They're trying to, the growers, hybridizers and whatnot, are trying to breed this out. I think this is probably a lot of, it's just salt from our water. I think this is what we call tip burn. And it's not going to kill the plant by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a little unsightly. Okay, so I've been thinking, guys. I've got this Mangave. This is a snow leopard. And it hasn't really done much under the shade of this Tongaensis. It hasn't really snow leopard. It hasn't, taken on a whole lot of color. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking my Mangave Pineapple Punch and sticking it up there and taking this snow leopard out. I just really feel like I want a pop. I want more color here. I think that all of the greens it's just a little lost. I need some delineation. So I'm circling that. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. I don't know. Aw, my little balloon cactus bloomed. Look at that. So fresh. Super cute. And Ursula is looking beautiful up here. She's doing fantastic. And all of my plants down here in this somewhat shady area of the garden are thriving. This will need completely reinvented at some point. That actually, all those plants right there are in a pot, although you cannot see the pot. And then this is more of a common Mangave. This is Jaguar. Yeah, that's super cool, isn't it? Yep. This Mangave Jaguar, look at all of the pups. So this is going to need to be dug out and a reset done. I keep saying at some point. At some point, we'll get to it. The lemon tree looks fantastic. I keep treating it. I keep feeding it with the Espoma Citratone. And again, thank you for that recommendation. This is got tons of little lemons on it. It's budding. It's just doing look at all those lemons. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. But what's really exciting to me, and I'm super hopeful about, is the grapefruit buried under all these ghosties. And last year I got little fruit set, but they never got this big. All of the fruit fell off because the plant just didn't have enough. I don't think it had enough branching and leaves to support the fruit. But this year they're hanging on. So maybe I'll get a few grapefruit, you think? And my beautiful monkey tail or rat tail has been blooming nonstop for the last couple months. And I just love it. I moved it over here so I could see it better from the house. And my falling waters, look at this, bloomed out. I cut the bloom spike off, so you can't really see that it bloomed out. And I'm just going to experiment and see how long this plant continues to look good before I dispose of it. Being a monocarpic plant, it blooms and dies, but I'm new to falling water, so we'll see how that goes. These two pots are also on the chopping block to redo, and I really want to do that with you guys, so that's why I haven't done it yet. Oh, who am I kidding? I haven't done it because I haven't done it, but I do want to do it with you. They're just so overgrown. I love these pots, and they need a whip and a chair. They look a mess. But if I don't get to it really, really soon, I'm going to have to wait till the fall, because it's not the best time to be manipulating and cutting and resetting in the heat of the summer. So we shall see. But yes, I've spent a lot of time out here in the garden over the last week or so, and I have enjoyed every single minute of it. I'm so in love with it. It's so beautiful, and it brings me such joy. And I hope that you have a garden that brings you just as much joy. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with Walkabout Wednesday in my late May garden in Vista, California, and your succulent tip of the day. Hope to see you on June 9th. Bye, guys.